Rain lashed against the windows, each drop resonated with the turmoil in my chest. My heart, once vibrantly alive, felt like a lead weight. I had loved deeply, trusted blindly. The memory of Claire's betrayal remained, a jagged shard piercing my every thought. Before Claire, love had been a beautiful mystery full of hope and anticipation. I yearned to share my life, my dreams, with someone who understood my soul. Then Claire entered my world, her laughter a melody that chased away the shadows. She seemed to understand me, to cherish the very essence of my being. Our love bloomed, a vibrant flower against the backdrop of our everyday lives. I poured my heart into our relationship, believing I had found a love that would last a lifetime. Little did I know Claire's love was a mirage, a shimmering illusion obscuring the desert of my future pain.
Her betrayal was not a sudden earthquake, but a slow, insidious erosion. Small acts of dishonesty, subtle shifts in her affections, chipped away at the foundation of their love. At first, he dismissed them as figments of his imagination, desperate to cling to the woman he thought he knew. But the truth, like a persistent weed, eventually broke through the cracks. He discovered her infidelity, a cruel parody of the love they supposedly shared. The pain was unbearable, a visceral wound that refused to heal. Trust once freely given shattered into a million pieces.
The man who emerged from the wreckage of our relationship was but a shadow of my former self. Gone was the open-hearted dreamer, replaced by a man shrouded in suspicion and doubt. I vowed never to be hurt like that again, to build walls around my heart so impenetrable that no one could ever breach them.
Papi sought refuge in logic, in his relentless need to understand and dissect. He believed that if he could analyze and predict every human interaction, he could prevent future betrayals. He built his prison cell by cell, each one representing a calculated defense mechanism. Relationships became a chess game, a series of calculated moves and countermoves. He kept women at arm's length, never allowing himself to be vulnerable again. His conversations were devoid of emotion, his touch carefully measured. He became a ghost of a lover, haunting the edges of intimacy but never daring to step inside. Ironically, his quest to avoid pain only deepened his isolation. The walls he so carefully erected kept everyone out, leaving him trapped in a desolate landscape of his own making. His fear of vulnerability became its own prison, a self-fulfilling prophecy that kept true love at bay.
My fear of vulnerability became its own prison, a self-fulfilling prophecy that kept true love at bay.
Section 4, Mara's deception, a familiar ache.
Then Mara entered his life. She was different, patient and understanding. She seemed to see through his defenses, to recognize the scared little boy hiding behind the fortress of logic.
With her gentle touch and insightful words, she began to chip away at the walls he had so carefully erected.
Mara encouraged him to talk about Claire, to confront the pain he had buried deep within. She listened without judgment, offering comfort and support.
For the first time since Claire, Papi felt a flicker of hope, a tentative yearning for the connection he had denied himself for so long.
Just as I began to lower my guard, a horrifying realization washed over me. Mara, with her knowing smile and familiar touch, was Claire in disguise.
The pain of her betrayal, which he had desperately tried to bury, resurfaced with renewed ferocity. He felt like a fool, a puppet dancing to the tune of his own tortured past. Section 5, confronting the architect within.
As anger subsided, a profound realization dawned on me. My true enemy wasn't Claire or even Mara's deception. It was the prison I had built within myself, the fear that held me captive.
He saw with startling clarity that his walls were not protecting him, but rather suffocating him, preventing him from experiencing the very thing he craved: love.
I realized that true strength lay not in shutting out the world but in embracing vulnerability, in accepting the risk of being hurt again.
It was a terrifying prospect, yet strangely liberating. For the first time, he glimpsed a future where love wasn't a threat but a possibility. a journey worth taking despite the inherent risks.
I knew that healing wouldn't be easy, that dismantling the walls I had so painstakingly erected would take time and courage. But with each painful memory I confronted, each fear I faced head-on, I felt a glimmer of hope.
He was finally ready to step out of the shadows of his past and into the sunlight of a future filled with love's possibilities.